This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and today we have with us a returning champion for his record-tying third appearance on this podcast. It is Keith Bernard from Clear 2O. How are you, Keith?
I'm doing great, Tom. Thanks very much for having me again.
Oh, it's always fun to have you, and we have, we enjoy talking with you and learning about your products and everything you do. And of course, as we discovered last time, you're just down the road from us. I mean,
that's right.
You know, I can hop in the car and, I could be in your office before the show's over, you know?
I thought we said last time that we were going to do this over coffee at some point.
Yeah, we need to do that. That's a definite. We have, yes. This date snuck up on me and it's like, yeah, I did say that, didn't I? We'll have to do that. So everything's going okay there and business is doing all right?
Well, you know, I think we're like everybody else, and every small business in America is struggling to get by, but we've actually been doing pretty well. We've been able to keep up with orders and keep up with things. We've seen parts of our business grow, especially online, and that's gotten us to a lot more customers overall. It's given us a chance also to respond to a lot more emails. We're getting a lot more of that as well, so that we're answering a lot more questions from people, which is another positive sign overall. But you know, in general, we'll all be happy to put 2020 behind us, but I would say at this point in time, you know, we're hanging in there. And if anything, we're growing still, which is good.
Well, that is good news. And for those folks who may be unfamiliar with Clear 2O, who haven't seen Keith in the past, why don't you share a little bit about just a general overview, brief description, the elevator pitch, if you will,
okay.
Of what you guys do.
Sure. Well, we sell under the brand of Clear 2O. That's our brand. And we've actually been in the water filtration business for homes since 2008. And that was mostly focused against kitchen products. So we make water pitchers, water bottles, all filtration types of devices in that area. And then we entered in 2018, we entered into the RV space, partly because we had bought an RV and we actually weren't finding what we were looking for to be able to get to clean enough water. And we took our technology and reconfigured it into RV filters. And then, of course, we've expanded that now with a couple of different product launches and expanded into other areas as well. But we focus in on solid carbon block as being one of our primary types of technology for all the benefits of solid carbon block. And we focus in on formulations that bring out contaminants and usually to a higher degree than other filtration companies.
Yeah, it's a great service and line of products that you provide, and folks can take advantage of these. We'll certainly learn more about them, including a brand new product that you've got right now. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more with Keith Bernard from Clear 2O. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Now these words.
RV owners and those thinking about owning want to maximize the fun and minimize the hassle of buying an RV? You need GPS. It's Gigi's personal service. Our $350 package gets you me, the expert advice, and a host of outstanding services. Visit thervadvisor.com.
We are back on the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and my guest is Keith Bernard from Clear 2O. And, last time, Keith, we chatted a bit about a product called the Dirt Guard. And I think you have it right there handy, and you can kind of refresh us. For those folks that didn't see it last time, why don't you share a little bit about the Dirt Guard?
Absolutely. Well, normally we talked about 2020. You wouldn't necessarily launch two products in a year like this, but we did.
In any year, right? Particularly this year.
Exactly. But, it's turned out it's been great. And we've been really, 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 really happy with the results overall. When we were working on the development of the Dirt Guard, it was to solve a problem that we saw in the marketplace and didn't get resolved for your standard filter. So we introduced this dirt guard, actually brought it out in the May timeframe, and it's been building and it's gotten a lot of activity and press and reviews as well. In fact, we sold out of our first shipment and we're now going through our second shipment already overall. So it's actually been a very good launch, but let me just kind of show it to you here.
Sure.
This is actually the dirt guard, and the heart of the dirt guard is actually this filter inside. So you can actually see that it actually is a hard filter overall. It's a polyethylene filter and it goes down to 20 micron. And
for those people just listening, you can describe it as a sort of a white cylindrical unit that goes into a container, that also circular. And go ahead, continue. I'm sorry. Just want to paint a picture for the people just listening.
Sure. The key on this filter is instead of being open on both ends, it's open only on one end. So one end actually acts as a diverter for the water coming in, and it gives you a much larger surface area by having that incorporated as well. So it fits inside a canister. I'll show the canister overall, and it's a very short canister, and the water will come in from one end and then actually go out the other. And you can see that the actual hose, the hole inside is deep. And that's so that a carbon filter can actually be mounted inside as well.
I see, yeah.
So this now takes, if your normal inline carbon filter, whether you use our green filter, which is at 1 micron, or you use the common one, which is the blue filter that you see in the marketplace, you see on almost all the RVs outside. If you use any one of those types of inline carbon filters, you can actually add our dirt guard as a pre-filter. So now this creates a 2-stage filter. So the first stage being the dirt guard removes all the sand, the silt, the sediments, all of these types of contaminants that come into a carbon filter and actually clog the carbon filter, or they coat the actual carbon and make it less effective. So if you want your carbon filter to last a lot longer, or you just want the effectiveness to go up much higher, then by adding this pre-filter stage or our dirt guard actually will allow that to happen. And we designed it so it fit in about the same size space that an actual inline filter. So you can hang it off of the spigot outside. It goes in the same location. You can store it very easily in your RV as well. So we tried to construct this to make sure that it really fits the needs. Now, the one key aspect of it that we've already talked about is when you actually have a filter like this, you can remove it and then you can take the filter out and it's washable. And so you can take your hose, you can rinse it off, you can use a kitchen scrubber to be able to remove the surface debris that's on there. And then we also include a backwash feature that you can actually have a backwash attachment that is going to go on the little hose extender and allows you to be able to backwash the filter. You can backwash it up to 3 times, and that's going to give you additional life. So overall, you can just continue to clean it. It's very durable. It's not, there's nothing you can really do to harm this filter. It's a very strong filter. And by being able to clean it, backwash it, and reuse it, you're going to get a lot of life out of it, and you're going to get much, much, much better performance out of your carbon filter and longer life out of your carbon filter. So we really have had a huge amount of people that maybe want canister style of water filtration. They just don't want to go through the installation, or they don't want the expense of canister style. So this gives them a canister style performance, but in an inline product overall.
Tell us about price and also the length of it, not the physical length, but how long it lasts, the duration of the product.
Sure. The price right now is $39.99, and that does include the first filter with it as well. The carbon filter, obviously, you would buy separately for that, but it includes a hose extender so that you can mount it under low spigots, as an example, and it also includes that backwash and includes a tool to help remove the top. So very, very normal product. So that entire kit comes for $39.99. It's available at most online retailers, at Amazon, Walmart.com, our website, of course, as well. And so from there, The length of it depends on the quality of the water that you have going through. But we easily test it to 1,000 gallons with no issue and no drop whatsoever in regard to the flow rate. So you're going to get multiple thousands of gallons out of it, again, depending on the quality of water that's going through it. But I would say, we normally say change it every 6 months if you're using it frequently, but it can last you 6 months to a year. We would certainly say change it every season overall, change the filter every season. But now you're changing the filter, you're no longer having to swap out that housing. So that you keep the housing and just buy the new replacement filter. And replacement filters are $19.99, again, sold at the same retailers.
Gotcha. So I'm sure the feedback's been really, really good from the people that have used it.
Yes, we've actually gotten a lot of response back on it. A lot of people asking questions, and a lot of people that are now using it and are showing us where their filter, they're sending us pictures in of how dirty their filter actually gets, because normally you don't see the inside of your filters. You see just the housings overall, and you're not really aware in your carbon filter what it looks like inside,
right?
Unless you were to take a saw and cut it in half.
Right.
Well, here you actually can see what's actually being blocked. So if you have a lot of iron in your water or a lot of rust in your water, you're going to see all that being pulled out by the dirt guard, and that's now going to be there, and you need to rinse all that off and then reuse it. It'll never come back to white. It'll always be a slight grayish color or whatever your water color is, but that's okay. It's the intention is the filter, it catches all of that. It doesn't go
doing its job, right? If it's a little dirtied up, it's doing its job.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Exactly right. So tell us about this brand new product. You've got the personal water filter, the Clear 2.0 personal water filter. Give us a sneak peek on that.
Well, as you've already known, we're expanding out, and we're expanding out to multiple different types of filters for RVs now, and we're going to continue to bring out additional things for RVs over the next few years for sure. And one area is, of course, that is dealing with people that go RVing are also the people who go camping, and they oftentimes go to locations where they're going to go on a hike. And so what we've done is we've developed a new product that is a personal water filter, and it's small and compact, and it's intended for you to put in your backpack and carry with you, so that if you need to, you can drink from an open water source. So normally, obviously, we drink from a plumbed water source that's coming from a well or coming from the city water. But if you're out on a hike and all that's there and you've run out of water, then you need a secondary device that's going to help you to be able to get that water. And so we've come out with it. This is actually the personal water filter. Again, it's available at the same retailers I just mentioned. And let me just tell you a little bit about it overall. So this is actually the water filter itself. The key difference between all of this and some of the competitors that are out there is ours is developed in a two-stage format. And so in doing so, you'll see that, again, we're not really inventing the category here. We're improving products in the category for ourselves overall. But you'll see a number of competitors that actually have this type of filter overall, which is a microtubule filter. Now, what that means is this will go down to 0.1 micron. So 0.1 micron actually is at the virus and most bacterial stage overall. So the goal for us was to go down low enough that we can ensure to capture the things that cause the most, I'll say nicely, intestinal distress, which are the cysts, which are Giardia and Cryptosporidium. Those are the two things that people worry most about when they're using some type of open water source. So this will protect against those types of things. They will not pass through this filter overall. But this filter by itself and the competitors don't change any of the taste, the odor, or the color of the water. And we're doing that through our second stage. So this is a secondary stage, which is a carbon stage. So this is an activated carbon that's actually in this stage. So when you bring the water through, you can see the water direction here.
Again, we're looking, for those listening, we're looking at a device that's somewhere around 10 inches, I guess, in length.
About 8 inches.
8 inches.
Mhm.
And it's got two, it's sort of, again, cylindrical, and it's, not, I don't know, the circumference is probably about about 3-4 inches around, around something like that.
It's actually probably an inch in diameter, and the end caps are maybe an inch and a quarter in diameter.
Okay, so
It's
yeah,
actually,
we're trying to judge it here from a distance, so it's not, we don't have a perfect eye on it. But yeah,
sure.
if you look at, right, you're holding a pen right now for those folks listening next to it, and it's a couple times larger than the circumference of a pen, but it's very easy to carry, and obviously incredibly lightweight, right?
That is actually exactly it, because the intention on this is for someone to easily drop this into their backpack
Hmm.
and carry it with them. It can be your primary water source, but normally you would bring water with you. That would just be the normal way to go on a hike. You'd bring your bottle of water with you overall. And when you have your bottle of water, this now becomes your secondary source. So, but if you're hiking far enough, it's a hot day, or for whatever reason you run out of water, you didn't bring enough with you, then this can actually act as any water source that you come across. You can now
That's
extract
amazing. So
water
yeah.
and be able to drink it
So
overall.
you come across a stream or something, or whatever, pond or whatever it is, and you've run out of water. Uh-oh, but you've got this guy with you. You just
Exactly.
you've got a source of drinking water that's safe.
You don't have to risk dehydration in that return trip. You can go ahead and get that water there. Now, we actually add silicone end caps on either end.
Uh-huh.
If this is easy, you just stick it into the water source. There is an end on either end where you can actually put your mouth on and then just suck the water out of the water.
Wow, that's amazing. And yeah, you do not, and you said risk dehydration, and that is, speaking from experience, folks, you do not want to risk dehydration. It is really an all-encompassing feeling of horrible. That's all I can say. You do not want don't want to dehydrate, right?
Exactly. So you just use it in this format. Overall, again, the carbon element is good for 25 gallons of use, and then it's time to replacement. We do sell replacements of this, so you don't have to buy the entire thing. You can just buy new carbon, so once a year or whatever is the right time frame for you. Excellent. And then what we also include in this is actually a 1 liter collapsible water bottle. So you can see this is actually a collapsible bottle. It actually has a stand-up base on it. So
when it fills up, it stands up as well.
That's right, exactly right. And then we include a carabiner on it so that you can easily hook this once it's full. Mm-hmm. You can hook this to your backpack and carry it with you on the outside overall. So this is a heavy-duty 3-ply water bottle. So the collapsible aspect of it is it's going to last you a very long time.
Right.
It's going to stand up to being able to have the pressure to push through it overall. So that comes with it. Obviously, it's easy to store because it's collapsible overall. And then in addition to that, one of the things that can be used is, I'll show here if I can turn this to the camera the right way. There we go. If you'll see this little window right here.
Yeah.
The window actually shows you the microtubules that are inside stage 1. And when you see those start to discolor, or you start to see them that there's actually contaminants inside overall, what ends up happening is you now need to backwash this. And this filter is fully backwashable. So you can take this collapsible container, or you can take actually any water bottle that you may have with clean water inside, attach it here, and then you flush this filter back out again so that you can continue to reuse and reuse and reuse.
Gotcha. Okay.
So every single time, if you start to notice that it's getting harder to pull through it, then it's because it's trapped the contaminants inside. Time to backwash that. Right. And again, using any water bottle or even our collapsible canteen can backwash that out with using fresh, clean water to clean this out overall. Reattach your carbon filter and you're ready to go again overall. So again, easy to store, easy to bring with you, and it should give you that peace of mind when you're out on that hike that you can always use any water source that you come across.
Terrific. Well, very helpful, Keith, and the products look just terrific. And again, it's Clear20. It's clear20.com, correct? Is that correct?
That's our website, clear20.com.
Clear20.com, and that's the letter O as opposed to zero. Clear20.com.
That's right.
And yeah, and a quick question. I'm not sure if the answer is going to be quick or can be quick, but I see all the science behind all this, right? There's obviously an enormous amount of science, and do you have any kind? You yourself have a background, or do you rely on a team of folks at the laboratory? Like you said, not inventing but improving existing technology and existing science.
Well, a background in science. I actually, in college, a lot of my college courses were science courses, specifically in chemistry and in biology. So I have, I guess, an extensive education in those areas,
Right.
although they weren't used during most of my career. And then once I got back into water filtration again, now I'm actually using a lot of that information that I learned a long time ago. But that really just gave me the opportunity to understand when I talk to the experts. And when we work with our suppliers who have some of the laboratories that we actually work with as well, it gives me the opportunity to be able to communicate what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to do to be able to do the things that we're doing.
So you can speak the language.
Yeah, exactly right. And so in doing so, we're a small family-owned company. So obviously we don't have a big laboratory where we are. We put together things and then we seek out partners that can work with us. And quite often those are third-party type of laboratories, but they help us to do the formulation. They help us to be able to get things right. We do extensive testing, and then we use other laboratories to do the further testing for the marketplace as well. Yeah. So, but it learned some things. This filter that we used in DirtGuard as an example, this filter here was being used on another type of filtration. And in doing so, we were able to modify that and form that filter. It worked out for a lot of ways for us to be able to bring this DirtGuard out. But that's because we're working with our filtration suppliers. And again, they showed me an interesting product and I said, wow, could you do this with it? And then that was the birth of the DirtGuard from there.
Terrific. Well, that is very interesting. And I'm always a fan of these sort of collaborative efforts in order to improve things for everybody. And it's really a cool thing that you're doing and great products that you're providing. Again, folks, it is Clear20. That's Clear20.com. And my guest today has been the founder and the gentleman that puts it all together, president, CEO, you name it, the admiral.
Yeah. And add in chief box shipper and everything else as well.
All that stuff. It is Keith Bernard. Keith, always a pleasure to speak with you. And the next time we will, I promise, we'll figure a way to get that coffee and sit down and chat in person.
I'm going to hold you to that.
All right. Please, please.
All right. Please. Sounds good. Thanks very much for having me.
Always a pleasure, sir. Keith Bernard from Clear20. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and we'll see you next time. So long, everybody.